It's the Italian Grand Prix race weekend in real life, and it's the Italian Grand Prix F1 23 scenario. This one is a little bit crazy though. A brilliant drive at the Formula 1 Italian Grand Prix 2023 sees Nick de Vries, who isn't even on the grid anymore, running in an impressive P3. However, his AlphaTauri team believe that he has the pace to push for the win. Can he prove them right? An AlphaTauri, Nick de Vries pushing for the win. Okay. Clearly the person who made up this scenario, Codemasters, was on something. They've got to be, to think that Nick de Vries is going for the race win at the Italian Grand Prix. I mean, obviously the team is no stranger to winning at Monza. You know, Gasly 2020, Vettel 2008 when they were known as Toro Rosso. But this is going to be some challenge in this Wagoner plus of a car of AlphaTauri. We're not even in P3. Hang on a minute. We're in P5. I think they maybe changed the balancing, or I don't know. Let me know if you tried the scenario when it first came out at the start this week, because we're definitely not in P3 as the description says. We're in P5. Hamilton is in P1 on hards. Stroll, Alfa Romeo's ahead of us. Yeah, of course, that makes sense. Verstappen's out, Leclerc's out, Alonso's out. There had to be an absolute manic Grand Prix up to this point for this scenario to even be a thing. But at this point, I'm struggling to even see how are we meant to even get the win? I mean, yeah, we could probably catch up to the Alfa Romeos of Bottas and Joe. We might have the pace over them. Stroll, that might be a bit difficult. Hamilton, surely that's impossible in the AlphaTauri. I mean, in real life, the AlphaTauri did show a bit more pace, you know, in the qualifying just gone than it has done all season. But here in the game, it's very much still one of the worst cars on the grid. So there is going to have to be some more chaos in the remaining 12 laps of this Italian Grand Prix. And let me tell you, coming off the back of, well, near enough maxed out my team car the last time I drove on this game to an AlphaTauri in the base game, yeah, not great, having to get used to it. But we are already catching Bottas slightly, so we've just got to get a head down for the next couple of laps. This first phase of the scenario is just about pumping in the lap times to catch up to the two Alphas, and then we'll see. You know, typically in these scenarios, something else is coded to happen just to, you know, lean yourself towards getting that objective. Of course, last time, if you missed it, the scenario at Zandvoort with Piastri, remember that, you know, Hamilton and Magnussen span it in the wet right in front of us. And then we've had a few times where there's been mechanical failures, etc. So there's maybe something to come. But for us, at the moment, the most we can do is just simply catch these Alfa Romeos. And then we'll see where we can go from there. We've caught up to Bottas now on lap 45. So about 4 laps later, we've bridged that gap. Bottas on the mediums, on the same tyre as us. Joe on the softs. But we got to hope that he's got a bit more tyre wear maybe. And that's how we're going to catch him up then. Because otherwise, I would say he would be kind of pulling away. But he is staying within about 1 second ahead of Valtteri. Behind us, interestingly, we've had Sainz overtake Lando, and he's up into P6. So the Ferrari, to be honest, with how quick it is in the game, may catch up to us by the end of the race. So we might have a scenario of not only attacking, but defending as well. But first and foremost, it's about overtaking Bottas, and I still haven't actually managed to even get near to him on lap 45, the lap we caught him. You saw I dipped a tyre into the gravel in Sector 1. This car is very on edge compared to the My Team car, compared to most of the cars on this grid. But in a straight line, it seems like we have some good pace. The setup, I put the wings down a little bit before we got on to starting the scenario, so that's helping me out in a straight line. And with DRS and a little bit of battery use, we're able to get ahead of the Finn and up into P4. We've not even got to P3 yet, which was allegedly where we were meant to be at the start of the scenario. I'm pretty sure they definitely must have pushed the starting position back because they realised maybe they made it too easy. I don't know, or just a mistake by someone on the team when they published this scenario in terms of who is in charge of writing the blurb for it. But can we try and get onto the podium, which in itself would be pretty damn amazing for de Vries, the man who's not even in the game anymore, in terms of this is the only place you can find him on the game from now on, unless you already had him in a career mode save. because, of course, with the patch, Ricciardo's replaced him in Grand Prix mode, replaced him in the driver market in new saves. So this is De Vries still in the game then, holding on to anything he can as we make an overtake. A little bit questionable through the middle of Ascari, though, as the rear end wanted to step out. And look at the top left, though. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Hamilton's got a drive-through. Oh, controversy. I wonder if Verstappen retired after Hamilton and Verstappen crashed a la 2021, if you remember that incident. And maybe that's, how Verstappen was out of this race. As we've got a problem, though. The two Alfa Romeos are catching me to re-overtake me. We were up into P2. We're now all of a sudden back down to P4. We're going backwards, not forwards, towards this race win. We're going to try and out-traction Valtteri Bottas and re-overtake him. Can we get Joe as well through into the next left-hander? We need to kind of get him to the inside, get the elbow out, just to kind of get them away, break that DRS, to be honest. But I'm also still keeping an eye on Carlos Sainz. He's bridged the gap from about 5-point-something seconds to 2.5. I think that Ferrari is going to be involved at the very end of this race. But yeah, Hamilton with the drive-through, so that is why he is not leading the race anymore. I really wish for these scenarios. Can you imagine if they actually bothered to, like, make an animation of, like, Hamilton and Verstappen, if it was that, crashing, and showing you, like, a cutscene animation of that scenario unfolding, and then you get put in. You know, right now, they give us a description, and it's up to your imagination, our imaginations, to, you know, envisage how we've even got to this point when we jump in and start the scenario. I would really love them as an improvement on next year's game, or even, you know, future updates. Just start giving us a few little cutscenes or replay cameras where they've kind of animated it happening so we can see why Hamilton's got a drive-through, for example. But lap 52 then, the second last lap of this Italian Grand Prix, and we have caught up to Lance Stroll. We've actually been making some good time in sectors 1 and 3, actually. This AlphaTauri, just like in real life, looking a bit slipperier than maybe Lance Stroll, who did very poorly, obviously. Now, ironically, he's P1 here. He was absolutely the polar opposite in today's real-life Italian GP qualifying. But Sainz has now gained on us enough where by the last lap he's going to be a danger. He's 1.4 seconds behind us. So I think going to the last lap, we're going to have to play this a bit tactically. You know, maybe stick behind Stroll for the entirety of the last lap, just to give us DRS, to make sure we don't get attacked by Sainz. Because in Sector 2, where I'm losing most of my time to the AI, Sainz is just, well, he creeped into under a second for a moment. We've actually pulled it back outside of a second with the DRS of Stroll. But you can see through some of these corners, this AlphaTauri is very, very iffy. But the objective is just ahead of us as we go in towards the last lap of the GP. Hamilton's had that drive-through and already caught back up to P4. Incredible pace there from the Brit. But this is it, the last lap. It's now or never. We have to get this overtake done on Stroll at some point. But like I said, we're going to maybe not overtake him straight away. Stroll goes defensive. We're on the racing line, but we take it easy because we want to stick behind the Canadian to keep DRS, because otherwise that Ferrari, he's just going to walk right past us here. And it's kind of nice, actually, Sainz is the Ferrari attacking us, because, of course, he's the Ferrari leading the charge on pole position in the real-life race at Monza. We'll see how it goes for him tomorrow, but right now it is all Forza Ferrari with the pole at Monza for them. A fantastic qualifying that was earlier for us, but can we now have a fantastic race here in the game for us in this scenario, holding up the home, well, one of the home favourites here for the Tifosi and getting the win. Stroll's got away from us a little bit, but we do still have DRS on him. There's also a bit of traffic up ahead. There's a slow car that may just give Stroll DRS. He may hold him up into the last corner as we go through Ascari, still in P2. So this is going to have to be a last lap, last corner overtake. Sainz is gaining rapidly on us. He pulls out for the move. We're going to use Magnussen to block Carlos Sainz and that part of the circuit, and then go for the kamikaze dive. Oh, okay. It's a little bit unclean, I will admit. a hands up, but you know what? Driving as De Vries, I feel like the only way De Vries would be winning a Grand Prix like this is a bit of questionable driving and the FIA turning a blind eye. We've just about done that. Maybe not in the smoothest, cleanest way possible, I'll admit, but the game didn't give me any sort of penalty for that, so we'll take it. The FIA have turned a blind eye. They know after this scenario, Nick De Vries is pretty much being Thanos snapped out the game. He'll no longer be anywhere in my vicinity when we play this game. But that has been the Italian GP 2023 scenario on F1 23. Guys, if you haven't enjoyed it, then be sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula One content. And to end off, let me know your predictions for tomorrow's Italian GP. Goodbye.